Want to record? Hey, everybody, welcome back to Story Teaser number 6. That's right. We are talking about the Fourfold Formula. It is a book. It's a compilation book. Super exciting. We have 30 contributing authors. We have 7 media partners. And then I have my co-author buddy, Markus Wettstein, that I can't get rid of. And then you have stuck with me and James Redfield, who's writing the foreword. So there's 39 of us. And I happen to have 4 gorgeous, brilliant minds in the room here. Where are you hailing from? We got New York City in the house. I know that up in my corner here. Hey, I'm from Florida. Sophia and Jacki.
Indiana.
Martine.
Little Michigan.
Little Michigan.
Tiny part of Michigan.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay, you guys, what do we do with these teasers? Well, we have this book, compilation book, as I said. It's about all things wellness. So we have stories about the heart, the spirit, the mind, and the body. And in those little quadrants, in those little chapters, we have stories about everything. It could be about organization or addiction or coping skills. They might be talking about their spirituality or weight gain or weight loss. There's a place, there's a home for every single thing. And what we're going to do today is read about 250 words of our stories. We're going to tease you because that's what we like to do. And then we're going to let you go. Back to drinking coffee and having donuts. It's donut day, everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get you started, and I'm going to read a little bit of my story. Thank goodness I wrote a few stories for this. I'll tell you, I've been reading a lot after this is the 6th one. All right, here we go. I will never work for anyone again. I will never fight another policy and procedure. I am now in charge of my creative freedom. I will receive the credit I deserve and my own flexibility to work when I want and how long I choose. I will do it all by myself. I will work with no one else. I can smell untrustworthy, backstabbing, coattail riders a mile away. And I'm going to shun them, and I'm going to own my own vision. Jesus, who burned me? Little did I know how dangerous it can be to get exactly what you ask for. Do it all myself. How naive, immature, egotistical, and heartless. Sure, I had fireball energy and laser focus and endless freedom to make it happen for a whopping 2 years. One of the biggest issues I faced was having no backup when I was injured or sick. And little did I know, when you work for yourself and you are aligned with your passion, you do not realize you're working a lot. A lot. There is no one forcing you to take a break or reminding you to eat or telling you there will be no day off or vacation for years. It doesn't matter if you suck at accounting or you hate marketing or even cold calls. You got to do it, baby. There is no one else, but guess what, girl? You asked for it and you get to do it all yourself, you sassy broad. Ooh, that was fun. That was a lot of fun. All right. So that was mine. NeNe, NeNe. You know, when I say your name, do you get that a lot where people want to do the NeNe dance? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Hi, buddy. Are you going to read some of your story for us?
Sure. So, I always wonder what my life would have been like if I never moved to America. I often think about the friends and family I left behind and, what their stories have become. Then I think of those who joined me here years later. The idea of coming to America was offered to me by my parents. And for me, that was the best gift they ever gave me. However, when I got here, I realized that, it wasn't as easy as people make it seem to be. The hardest part for me was my college years. And I see that as, some of the toughest times of my life in this country. The journey has been filled with ups and downs, some moments of depression, anger, feeling lost. But somehow I've managed to keep all this together. And, I have tried hard to work on everything that I needed to work on. And through perseverance, the drive and the feeling that determination is the way to go. And with determination, failure is not an option. I have, I feel like I've come very far. Sometimes you hear the saying like, you can make it in America, you can make it everywhere. And, everything is possible if you work hard. I mean, I always look back and I think to myself and I say, who would have thought that a kid from Ghana would sit in the same classroom as the current mayor of New York City, Eric Adams. So that's my story.
That's right. And it's a really fascinating one. You've come a long way, baby. Yeah, it's a great story. A lot of people will really resonate, look up to you for what you have persevered. So welcome to America years later. I loved his story. I learned a lot. And Marcus, I wish he was here, but Dr. Marcus, when he read your story, it can be, not that it's a controversial story, but it sparks conversation. And, when you look at immigration and those types of things, you did put glasses on us from a different angle. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Martine, are you ready?
Yes.
Hit it, girl.
Okay. So, molested by Mr. H, and no one stood up for me. Molested by churchman, and no one stood up for me. Molested by neighborhood cop, and again, no one stood up for me. And then I turned 9 years old. I was being physically and verbally abused at home, bullied at school, and you guessed it, no one stood up for me. The beauty in this truly is that I know deep inside, even at a young age, there was a presence of a beautiful light in me, and that I would someday go up to be an encourager and an uplifter of my fellow humans. I, of course, did not know what that looked like at the time, and the presence of this light remains illuminated. Despite being hurt by myself, I deeply loved people and was drawn to those in despair. I wanted then, as I do now, for people to know that they can overcome anything, and I do mean anything. I left home at the age of 17. I was scared, but I knew I needed to go. I was shy, withdrawn, and having been called a big dummy for most of my young life, I didn't have much confidence. And there we go.
Tell you, I know, right? Jacki, Sophia, what are your thoughts? That's a tough one, isn't it? The stories are amazing.
I appreciate your vulnerability and your willingness to share all of that. I mean, like right off the bat, I was like, oh, you touched me.
Yeah.
I agree with Sophia. And I know you, and I didn't know those things, not to the detail you just spoke to. And so I thank you so much for being willing to share your story that will help so many other people realize they're not alone. I love you, my friend.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you. And that's my hope, that other people will start talking.
Pretty amazing, isn't it, Mr. K, up there? That story. Yeah. Yeah. All right, so we have a really unique situation in this book, and I don't think it'll take very long for people to recognize what I'm about to share. So I'm just going to say it because, that's what I do. So Sophia and Jacki have the same last name, and I wonder why. They also have beautiful long brown hair and look very similar. I am an inspector. Mother and daughter we have. So the other unique situation you guys are going to see in the interviews that we do down the road, but they have unique stories. So which one of you would like to go first? You're neither of you. Why do I ask? I ask.
I'll go. She's not unmuting. Okay. Dale and I agreed that when I thought his death was imminent, I would move him to hospice. We didn't want our children associating their home with death. A little over a year later, that day came. As difficult as it was, I honored our agreement and moved Dale to hospice the day we thought he would transition. After friends and family said their final goodbyes, I rode in the ambulance with my husband, ensuring he felt loved. Once the EMTs were gone, and the door shut behind us, I turned to sit on my husband's bed and prepare for him to die. Instead, Dale sat up and resolutely asked, "What am I doing here?" Imagine my shock at his ability to talk and to sit up in his bed. I reminded him of our agreement, and he replied, "I know, I'm not ready." Stunned, I realized he wanted to continue the fight against the unwelcome invasion that ravished his body. My husband, strong and determined, wasn't ready to leave us. As days turned into weeks, I questioned the doctors as to how this was possible, and no one could medically explain it. We had 35 more days together than we thought feasible. Along with many others, I made the final days of his life as happy, joyful, and pain-free as I could. It was horrible, and it was beautiful.
Thank you. I always keep a box of tissues on my desk because you never know.
Me too.
I always keep
Many tears, many tears.
Yeah. I've shed more tears. I hate to cry. And I've shed more tears because you all, I swear to God, in the last few months, because you all did it to me. All right, Sophia. Your turn, sweetie.
All right. March 16th, 2009, after school on a sunny day, I was playing at a neighbor's house in my maternal grandparents' neighborhood. My mom pulled into my grandparents' driveway and called to me, asking me to come inside. Of course, my heart dropped, but I obliged. My heart seemed to frequently fall in my stomach during that time. Although I was young, I was well aware my dad could be taken away from me at any time. I sat on my grandparents' ugly maroon velvet couch as my mom held my hand and told me my daddy had finally passed away. She hugged me as she cried, and I don't remember anything outside of numbness. Shortly after delivering this gut-wrenching news, she took me to the hospice center to join my brother. It was time to say goodbye to my dad's body. I was allowed to be in the room by myself. The light that shone in through the double doors leading to a garden was beautiful and comforting. I associated my dad with nature. I held my dad's cold and unresponsive hand for the last time, and I remember wanting to close his eyes, but I was afraid. My dad's death gave me a new sense of awareness and perspective. I had never known such emotional pain, but I would continue to understand it well throughout my childhood.
I'm already on the verge today, so this is not good.
I know. Oh, I know. What's the man in the house think? Tell me what you think, NeNe. Oh, it's okay. There you go.
These are very touching, sentiments being expressed. I always say to people that, we see people go and come, but we never know what people are going through.
Right.
For some of us who live here in New York City, you ride the subway and you think everybody has it good, but there are a lot of people who have difficult things that you're going through. This is, doing this series has opened my eyes to a lot of things, and just hearing these stories, tough stories.
Yeah, we don't know what we don't know. Even if, look at the two boxes sitting side by side. There, it's like we look at each other and we think we know each other, and it is such a blessing. And I'm so grateful that you guys are here and that we're doing these story teasers, because it's really letting people see who you are as human beings. You're getting a lot of views. All the contributing authors are getting views, and it's because they see human beings. This isn't just a book they're going to pick up with some words typed in it that they can't relate to fake figures out in the woods. You're real people with real problems, and you're giving them thoughts of real solutions, and that's a beautiful thing. Oh, deep breath. Okay. I shall grab my rose quartz and my tissue. Oh, you guys, thank you for joining me, and I will see the 4 of you soon. And for those of you who are listening, if you want, if you have any questions, reach me at peggy@allthingswellness.com, or you can jump onto my website, peggywillms.com, on the author tab, see what the book is about, and pretty soon you'll see all these guys, their faces on the website too. So till next time, America, that means something, doesn't it? Yes. Okay. Goodbye.